Hey guys, good morning from my Minnesota garden. Today we are going to be canning pickled jalapeno green beans. And so I have all of my ingredients out here in front of me. And of course my cup of coffee in my JD mug. Morning JD. Hey bud. JD gave me that mug for Christmas a couple years ago. So, okay, this is what you're going to need for the jalapeno green beans. And you guys are going to love these. These are fantastic. You need some white vinegar, some pickling salt. You need, of course, your green beans, and I've actually got green beans and yellow beans in here. I'm mixing them up because they'll be pretty in the jar and they'll taste great. You need some dill, and don't throw away your stems. I hate it. I had to buy this dill because mine isn't quite ready yet, and they don't give you any stems, and there's so much flavor in the stems. So if you're growing your own dill, don't throw away the stems. You can crush them up and throw them in the jars, and they're fantastic. You need garlic cloves, and I just harvested these out of my garden last night, and these cloves are huge. Look at that. And so I actually cut them up into about fours because those are huge garlic cloves. You need some jalapenos sliced up, and I'm actually going to throw a few carrot slices in there too because they're going to take on that jalapeno pickle taste, and they are fantastic in the jar. And some grape leaves off your grapevines, or if you have a friend, somebody has grapevines. You can find them somewhere. This is a great alternative to using alum. Alum has been discovered to not be good for you. It's a direct derivative of aluminum. And we all know that aluminum is not good for you, and it is linked to Alzheimer's and many other different diseases. So don't use alum, guys. Use the grape leaves. And then you need your pint-sized canning jars. And all you do to start with is wash those beans and snip the ends off. Get your carrots ready and kind of, I don't know, they're julienne. They're probably about like a ½ inch thick maybe. About the same size as a green bean. Cut them about that same size as a green bean. You're going to put, of course, sterilize these jars, guys. I sterilize them in my dishwasher on the sanitized setting, and it works great because then you don't have to boil water and dip your jars and all that good stuff. Just sterilize them in the dishwasher. So then, put a sprig of the dill in the bottom of the jar, a big old garlic clove, and I probably would do 2 slices of the jalapenos in the bottom, like that. Now we're going to layer in the carrots and green beans. I'm only doing a couple of carrot chunks in there, and layer in your green beans nice and thick like that. Once you get those all ready, then we're going to take the distilled white vinegar, and we're going to do 1 quart to 3 quarts of water, ½ cup of pickling salt. Get it into the kettle, and then we're going to get this boiling, and we're going to pour it over the top of the green beans, leaving about a ½ inch at the top of each jar. I'm going to get these loaded. I'm going to get all these loaded. I'm going to turn the canner on. You're also going to need your canner. So get your canner going and get it hot. And once I get all these jars filled, we're going to come back and we're going to work on this stuff. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back, and I've actually started this process because this was boiling all over my stove. See? Awful. But don't forget to get yourself one of these cheap funnels. This is irreplaceable when it comes to canning. You got to get it in the jars or it's not going to work. So I've topped these jars off with a little extra dill and another jalapeno slice on top, and the grape leaf, which I actually kind of tore up a little bit because they were huge grape leaves, and then I tucked them into the jar. You can see one right there, and just kind of push them down in there so that you can make sure you don't want anything sticking up out of the top of the jars. You want them all to be everything tucked down inside there. And then all I'm doing now, because this is boiling, is I'm going to dump this in. So I'm going to pour this in here, top the jars off. I've got my lids over here in warm water, not boiling. Don't boil your lids anymore, guys. We used to boil them all the time. But don't boil them now because they've taken the BPA out of the rubber, which is a good thing. But when you boil the lids, it breaks down that rubber seal and you're not going to get a good seal. And I learned that the hard way a few years ago when I was still boiling my lids. So I'm going to get all these jars filled and I'm going to get them into the canner and I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Okay guys, I put these in the canner. I had the at a full boil in the canner. You want it to simmer in there for 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes, no longer. We don't want to cook the beans. We just want to give some pressure and get the jars to seal. And your jars should seal just fine. If you have a jar that by chance doesn't seal, just put it in your fridge, wait a few weeks, and then you'll have these beans for your eating then. Keep these in your pantry for about 6 weeks. You don't open them until then. You'll be disappointed if you do because they're not going to have the full flavor. And these are fantastic. You guys are going to love these. And I actually have to give a shout out to my friend Kathy because she's also a pickler. And this stuff's in my blood, but she's good too. And she's the one who puts carrots in with her pickles. And I'm telling you, that carrot at the bottom of the pickle jar, that's something worth fighting over. And you know what these are really good for? These beans, guys. When you switch from coffee to Bloody Marys. I'm not even kidding. Put these in your Bloody Marys when they're done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you make these beans because these are to die for and they're a little bit of sweet with the pickle, salty with the brine, and a little heat with the jalapenos. They're fantastic. Make these pickles and let me know what you think of them. Have a great day, guys.